Chairman of the English Department at the University of Miami, and I'm here to introduce another in our series of Caribbean Summer Writers Institute readers. Our program includes Aurora Ferguson, who you may have heard before on this series, a young poet from the Bahamas, and Sharon Freeman, who is here to read poems about the Virgin Islands, and coincidentally, her mother. I'm sure it's a nice series of poems. She's the program assistant for the Division of Libraries, Archives, and Museums, and has a sense of history, particularly about the Virgin Islands, that is second to none. Third, Kamau Brathwaite, who is the premier poet of the Caribbean I've talked about before, will be introducing Cynthia James, a Trinidadian whose work has recently begun to achieve national acclaim. Ms. Tate has won our Summer Institute Prize for the greatest contribution to literature to come out of the conference. Finally, we have Jean Goulbourne, who you may have heard read before, who is an education officer in the Ministry of Education and in Jamaica, and one of the fine young poets from that area. We do hope that you enjoy today's readings.
I'll read 3 short pieces. The Syndicate. Creeping brown babies cry revolution. 1,000 tiny heads stamped anonymity. Tender swollen bellies gutted chastity. Criminal activities bring notoriety. Babies now bloom in perplexed maturity. Actual culture. Pieced structure. Actual culture. Pointed gun, no man's head. Pulled trigger, carcass bled, dead. Scrapped structure. Actual culture. Walked, no name street, no name feet, no soled shoes trampled. Split structure. Actual culture. Slept, paved roads, cardboard pavements. Crushed structure. Actual culture. Garbaged, smoky bin, stave cold, smoked pipe, narrow road, doped life, pitied strife, cracked up structure, actual culture. Drunkenness. On holiday, he dined, we whined. He poured, rapport. He drank, we drunk. Stumbled speech, dialect, ironed British. Picked up P's and V's. Dropped out D's, old and aged. Fogged our eyes, brightened I am. He fished, he sought, we bought, we caught. Cluned Englishman, naked Bahamian.
We have already broken all our records. And I want to end, therefore, with a little piece that deals with breaking records. But before that, I think that you should clap yourselves. You FIU, you've been a very wonderful audience. Truly, when I look at the clock and see that it's almost 2 hours and hardly anyone has left, it is a special achievement, and we really have to thank you for that. So we're going to end with a little piece about Barbadians and Caribbean people playing cricket. Lambert went in playing all about it as usual, and swoosh, there he go fanning outside the off stump, and his click. He snicked the ball straight into the slips. Well, boys, it looks like we lost in this match, says the skipper, writing note in the exercise book he was keeping the scoring. You think we could chance it and send Gulstone in before Charlie or Spooks? So Gulstone went in. You could see his face whitening under his tan, and you know that Saiga boy frightened. Back tapping, feet walking about like they're talking with ants. Had was to stop myself asking myself if he ever played cricket on Bronx Beach before. And I told him over and over again, watch the ball, man. Watch the ball like a hook to your eye when you first goes in and you don't know the pitch. I don't mean to poke, but you just got to watch what you're doing. This isn't no time for playing the fool nor making no sport. This is cricket. But Gulstone too deaf. Mother don't clean out the wax in the air. First ball from Cass and he fishing. Second ball and he missing, swishing the bat like he wishing to catch butterfly. Though the all Gulstone could ever catch on this beach was a cold. But it's always the trouble with we. We too afraid and too frightened. It's all very well when it's rosy and sweet, but lemmer the start, and boogalong down, you can't find a man to hold up the side. Look what happened last week at the Oval. At the Oval? What happened last week at the Oval? You mean to say that you come in here with that lime skin cone, you're calling a hat on your head, and then slop shoe strap on, put your foot like a tourist. You sprawl your ass all over my chair without asking me, please, need no license, wasting my time when you know very well I can't find enough to finish these suits before Christmas. And on top of all this, you could wind up the nerve to stop me cool in the middle of all my needle and thread, make me prick my hand in my haste, and tell me broad and bold to my face that you don't really know what happened at Kensington Oval? We was only playing the MCC, man. MCC, who come all the way out from England. We was batting, you see. Score wasn't too bad. 197 for 3. The openers out. Tyrell out. Everton Weeks just glide 4 for 50. And Jack is the giant to come. Fella named Wardle was bowling. Tossing it up, sweet, slow, medium syrup. First ball, no, back down the wicket to Wardle. Second ball, no, back down the wicket to Wardle. Third ball coming up, and we know what's going to happen to Syrup. Clyde back on the back foot and packs is 2 extra cover and 4 all the way. Jesus Christ, you see that shot? People were shouting. All you see that shot? All over the ground fell each other as if they was wheeling the willow, as if it was them had the power. One man ran out on the field with a red full cock going quack, quack, quack in his hand, as if he could give it to Clyde right running right there if a police didn't stop him. And in front of where he was sitting, one bald-headed skeptic snatched hat off his head as if he did crazy, and pointing the finger at Wardle, he jumped up and down like a sun-shattered daisy and bawl out, "Blood, big boy, bring me blood!" Who would have think that for 25 years he was standing up there in them post office cages licking glory on the government stamps? If I wasn't there to see for myself, I would have never believed it. I would have never believed it. But I say it once and I say it again. When things going good, you can't touch me. But lemmer the start, an old man, you can't find a man to hold up the sun.
Good afternoon, my name is Sharon Freeman, and I'm from St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. I'm going to read to you the first poem that I ever wrote, which was about 4 years ago. And it was accepted for publication in the Caribbean Writer, which is an international literary magazine, and I guess it was that which made me thought that I could aspire to be part of this great tradition of Caribbean writing. It is entitled Reverie at Brewers Bay. Returning to Brewers Beach, green-clad trees, glassy aqua water, azure sky, all flaunt conceitedly for attention. Red wine is impotent, paralyzed intoxication, seducing me with cool caresses and light, salty kisses. Completely captivated, fearing nothing, content to lie forever. Chalk white sand, grittiness lost, feels like satin beneath my cheek. Black dimpled sea grapes tickle my open palm. Faint odor of raw fish brings no disgust, only calm. Memories of childhood revive, when once chubby, shiny-eyed, I skipped round piles of fat, silver-glazed bonitos, their stark smell and shimmering skin. Pressing through tired, hungry fishermen, squabbling voices, finally being lifted high into the strong black arms that felt like home. Yet seduction was never this complete. Now emblazoned by the sun's intimate rays, I'm content to spend these heady summer days. My next poem is a tribute to my mother. I think it is very important because the mother has been an important part of Caribbean life. She symbolizes strength and caring. And I know that many mothers, like my mother, has always put the success of her children above her personal happiness. And she has, in a way, lived her life through me. So this is dedicated to my mother. For mother, there in the sunlight she has been. Green mountains envelop her, lending their perfume, rendering it the earthy scent of home. Her laughter soft and clear like the gurgle of fresh spring water, inching toward the shore. Eyes radiate warmth, limpid pools of life, glistening, challenging fate. Glory she never sought, yet always earned. Life's trials mother always took to God's throne. There in the sunlight she has been, her lonely sojourn amongst leafy cedars, exuding a strength analogous to theirs, adding the negatives, arriving at positives through laughter and love. She nurtured her world of green until they grew into 3 young seedlings, lifting sturdy branches to the light that still burnt. There in the sunlight she has been, at night when the sun could be seen no more, and the only sound was the sea lapping at the shore. She'd soothe a fevered brow, or wipe away defeat, her hands cool and kind. To her a dream deferred meant in God's own time. In the humble style of ancestors past, she'd keep the flickering torch of oral traditions alive. There in the sunlight like it was yesterday, hammering out a vision that transcended the walls of home and self. Her plan for survival amid the stony soil of reality, her selflessness crowning her a queen. There in the sunlight she has been all my life.
To ask Cynthia James, Iere, my love, to come and meet you, to greet you.
Good evening. I am Cynthia James. I am from Trinidad. It's the most southerly isle of the Caribbean. I am a teacher and a writer, and other than that, I do a weekly column for short for small paper on the theater. This evening I'm going to read a few poems. I'll begin with Iere, My Love. The Arawaks called Trinidad Iere, and the poem by title speaks for itself. Iere, my love. Iere, my love, I'll stay with you. These sleepless nights my windows rattle to the ceaseless moaning of countless flights, and lying in the darkness beneath your folds, farewell lights like headlamps on the eastbound streets, blinking hazard-heavy booted fleet, pierce like daggers in the back, leaving only the dying groan. Yet, when the dew-eyed mist uncovers you constant, unfailing, and from your mounts the morning angelus rings, I know I'll never be ashamed to tend your face which I have scarred. Together we'll wait the return of these outward marching feet, the violence of inner deprivation fleeing, and one quiet night we'll awaken to the searchlights, bringing back the faithless band. Till then, I'll be constant. Iere, my love, I'll stay with you. The second poem has to do with Trinidad again. We have a beach called Matura Beach, on which the leatherback turtle comes to lay its eggs. It's one of the few beaches in the Caribbean that the leatherback visits. And I was privileged one night to go there and have the experience of seeing the turtles come in to lay their eggs. Turtle watching. That night, the land emerged in clouded afterbirth out of the burst dam of the sprawled out sea. And the sky, a jeweled hammock, prepared to cradle its innocence, its infancy. That night, the leatherback labored up the sparkling strand to lay her faith, then heaved towards the incessant percussion of the sea. Most other June nights were brittle nights, nights without a reforming poetry, when the moon, in spite, refused to light, laid down tongue and cheek. Those nights, under a torchlight violation of her privacy, the leatherback humped onto the land, cut and swirled the sand with the precision of a cement grinder to lay and pack, tears fastened to her bleary eyes. Most nights, humping her darkened way down to the vacant water's edge, she left a million years of weariness behind. The third poem celebrates, well, I shouldn't say celebrates, well, it is about the dry season. We have two seasons, the dry season and the rainy season. This poem, it's a bit sad, but it's about the dry season. Dry season. And night is a purple blemish congealing the bruise of the day. Fire curls the roadside parchment back, writing intact upon the dog-eared page. You'd think you'd get accustomed to those days you wondered why the sun went down just to rise upon an emptier day. When clouds came boiling, a relief, you thought you heard the rain, and not one drop, one drop. The days the landscape bears glinting galvanized and gossip wire, flame-spiked cactus fingernails, thriving, oozing, racking milk, heavy purple bougainvillea wreaths, hiding their maze of thorns, and behind the skin of the prolific pomerac, the flesh cut so deep, the mauve blood staunched. Yet, underneath, you're thankful time is a colander straining pain, leaving only what you can eat behind.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to read a story about my childhood. I wrote it about 2 or so years ago. Cousin Clea. Christmas Eve came down like a silver-lined cloud, and we children slept upon it in the hope of peace and comfort. Peace and comfort was to be had at Portsea over the Christmas season. Peace and comfort and food and drink and presents and the rolling common of tall grass and the whitewashed mango tree trunks and the fire rockets and the starlights and the peace of Grandma and Cousin Clea and sisters and brothers and uncles and aunts and Mama and Daddy, and happy memories of the past which were small in years for me, but which were real and lasting and full of joy. At this moment there, it is time to greet friends as we come up the hill from the loaded bus with its boxes and suitcases piled on top like so many parcels of holiday. At this moment in time, we greet Grandma with her red check headcloth, super clean starched cotton dress, on the which we all knew were 3 slips, a thick flannel vest, and long drawers. It is time to enter the 3-roomed blue house on the hill and see the sideboard with its drinking glasses of green and blue and pink, see the fruits of the season piled on the large round green plate, and feel the mouth water for them. It is time to greet and meet and love and hope. And where is Cousin Clea? She don't come yet? When's she coming? Tomorrow, Christmas Day. But there is no Christmas tree in the portico, and there are no decorations in the house yet. Grandma, where is Cousin Clea? But Cousin Clea always did few things for as long as I could remember. That was Cousin Clea's job, and what a joy it brought us, what a joy. And when she sang the Christmas carols and pleaded with us to be quiet on Christmas Day, to hear Mrs. Queen talk, what a sheer joy it was to be with Cousin Clea. And when she gave us her gifts of toys to children, what a joy it was to play and play with them and with each other and be happy all the time, like the joy would fill us to capacity and never go away. Grandma of the sixpences and the icicle man on Sundays, Grandma of the homemade buns and the sweet yam and the gummy bamia and the gunga soup, where is Cousin Clea? And I knew my Christmas was never ever going to be the same. There was no Cousin Clea, no Christmas tree, no toys. I joined the mob outside and dirtied my traveling clothes, got a smack on the bottom for it, and afterwards laughed at the prank of a baby cousin. And about Cousin Clea there's a strange silence. Tomorrow she might come, but Grandma is tight-lipped with a stern, unhappy face about her when we ask. Tomorrow she may come. And Christmas Eve night came with the fire rockets making a racket, and the bouncing babies bawling with fright, and the dogs hiding, and the whole neighborhood is in an uproar. Then we children, well versed in the Christmases, scream till our throats are on fire, and we crawl into bed bleary-eyed to wait till morning. But I am afraid. There is no Christmas tree and no Cousin Clea, and we are all afraid. Suppose she don't come, what then? So we sleep, and Christmas morning bounces in with the cool breeze from across the Plowden and Spurtree hills, and Christmas morning bounces in with the coffee black and drawn and full of sugar, and this we all eat with the sweet homemade bun from Grandma's bun shop. And I of the 7 Christmases am afraid. What of Cousin Clea? Where is she? And Mama does not know, and Daddy does not know, and I can't hear God talk, so I fear to ask him. Then the bus comes. There are 2 a day in that district, of Portsea. And I look down the hill and it's Cousin Clea, and my heart is full to bursting point. And I am so happy I cry and I leap down and I greet her. And the auntie comes up to greet us, but there's something wrong. What is it, Cousin Clea? But we do not know. I am very afraid. Cousin Clea is silent. She touches our hands and she kisses our cheeks. But there's a silence about her that is disturbing, and I am afraid. We move away from her, touched by her silence, and slowly we move up the hill. Has someone died? And I look at her clothes, long-sleeved and gray-colored, her shoes black and tall and forbidding, and I look at her face, as long and as sacred and as still as a Madonna in some ancient church. And this is not the Cousin Clea of the Christmas trees and the laughter. This is another Cousin Clea, and I am very afraid. It is Christmas. I catch the look of the adults, and my fear grows, and Cousin Clea drinks mint tea and eats crackers. Cousin Clea retreats during the Queen's message. She will not hear it, she says. She has a headache and she will not hear it, and a stillness comes over the house. Cousin Clea must be ill because she does not want to hear the Queen's message on the large radio set. And there's no one to ask us to listen to, but we are still. I hear my mother whisper, it's the religion. They do not listen to the radio. And I am still. Mrs. Queen's message comes over slow and crisp and precise, but I do not hear it. Cousin Clea is locked in her room and my thoughts are with her. The portico looks cold without the Christmas tree. There are some gifts on the floor. After breakfast we will open them, but there are none from Cousin Clea. The helper comes in with plates of sweet cassava and callaloo and codfish. We gather around the table. We eat. Cousin Clea eats in her room. She will not eat with us, my grandmother says, because we are unclean. Christmas is spoiled for me. I long to return to my own home on the hill, away from the cousins and the aunts and the uncles, away from Cousin Clea, where there is no pain, and the faces of all the children reflect that pain. Cousin Clea has changed. We do not like her gray dress with the long sleeves. We do not like her thick-heeled black shoes, and we do not like her new holy face. We want the old Cousin Clea, and we tell her so. But she's holy now, and forever different, and she tells us so. She has been saved and baptized and changed, and she tells us so. So we retreat. We leave her while she preaches, and we go to the trees, and we climb, and we talk. And we at least begin once more to laugh. But we do not forget. And at the back of the laughter lies a gloom. Cousin Clea is new and forbidding and cold.